It's Saturday morning. It's weigh-in day. Yeah, weigh-in day. It's been a pretty good week. Can't complain. I cannot complain. I did everything as I planned this week. I got my 48-hour fast in, and I stuck to my macros of everything else I wanted to eat for the rest of the days. So everything is looking pretty good. In the history, in the last 6.5 years of weigh-in days, rarely has it happened. It's like a comet passing, right? Where I have 3 losses in a row. So last week, I know I told you guys, I have a feeling I'm going to gain, blah, 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 blah. But I can't say anything otherwise this week too, because I have a feel like it's going to go up, because rarely does it happen where it's 3 losses in a row. I can't say it doesn't happen, because there have been a few moments in the last 6.5 years where, you know, the stars align, Saturn is in retrograde, and you know, and it's just like all of the perfect things fall into place, and then there's a 3 weeks in a row loss. But that's just how it goes, right? The road to health looks like a stock ticker. If you're wondering what that means, like go look up any stock. Like go look up the WW stock. It's not a straight upward trend. It's not a straight downward trend. It is like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then the overall trend goes up or the overall trend goes down, right? But and it's the same thing with weigh-ins, right? So weigh-ins look the same way. The closer you get, the more up and down it looks. The further out you get, the more gradual it looks. And the same thing with a stock. The closer you get, you know, like to the daily, when you're looking at the daily stock fluctuation, it's all over the place. But the further you go out, when you go out 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is, it looks much more gradual, right? And the same thing with the weigh-in. The weigh-in, you're looking at the last 4 weeks, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. And then when you look over the last 6 months or 12 months or whatever it is, or all of it, it's much more gradual. But as long as you can see the trend in those times is going down, it doesn't matter what the 4-week mark is up, down. It just matters that the overall trend is down. If the overall trend is up, then adjustments should be made, right? And that's why I always talk about, you know, you heard me develop over these last 6 years the 3-week gain rule. That you have to be, first of all, you have to be confident in how you're doing things. You have to be tracking consistently. You have to be weighing and measuring consistently. And you have to be making, you know, choices. Everything has to be aligned. And what does it look like to track consistently? If you eat 3 times a day, not 21 meals a week, 19 of those meals is tracked. 19 of those meals is weigh and measured. That's what consistency looks like, right? And it's like, it's not like you're skipping here, going tomorrow, whatever. Just having the majority done, okay? If you have those things done and you see that you have an overall trend going upwards, and that trend being 3 gains in a row, right? So if you have 3 gains in a row, you can say to yourself, okay, my tracking is consistent. Let me look at my tracker. Let me see what I have been doing differently over the last 3 weeks to create this consistent overflow or upward trend. And so you look, you see, okay, you know, I've been veering more toward carb-related things lately. So let's try to cut the carbs and increase the protein and see how that works. You know, and that's your plan for the next however many weeks. And, you know, it'll take time for those results to show up. But you have to have a problem before you fix it, right? And not every loss is a loss and not every gain is a gain, right? And you have to see what the trend is. If you have 3 trends in a row, if you have 3 gains in a row, that is a trend upward. And a trend upward is a change in behavior, a consistent change in behavior. Because we're talking about 21 days worth of time during that, right? So it's a consistent change in behavior to have the scale to go up 3 weeks in a row. In this case, we want the scale to go down. But so you're going to make adjustments as you see fit. But making adjustments just because there's a gain is how I went crazy for however many of these 6 years. And it took some time, but eventually I adopted this rule of 3 gains in a row, then we'll analyze and we'll come up with a plan and we'll make a change. Unless there's 3 gains in a row, I will not do that. And you know what? When I think about it, it has happened, let's say 3 gains in a row has happened more often than 3 losses in a row, unfortunately. But it has not happened that often, is what I'm saying here. That's the main topic here, is 3 gains in a row doesn't happen that often. But when it does, I see it for real for what it is, and I make changes and keep going. And but you can't make changes just because last week was a loss and this week was a gain. We have to get out of that mindset. Things don't show up that quickly, and there's way too many things. We're paying attention to one number out of like a 3-page or 4-page report that makes up everything in our body. And we dictate our success all over this one number. If you ever got a DEXA scan before, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the DEXA scan is like a 3-4 page report that tells you everything about your body, everything you don't want to know. And literally it displays you in like one of those, infrared body shapes. And like, you can't deny this is the shape of my body, right? You just can't not see it. And it'll tell you how much of your weight belongs to fat, how much of your weight belongs to water, bone, skin. It can actually decipher lean mass versus fat. And so it sees your skin as lean mass, and it sees your organs as lean mass, and it sees your muscle as lean mass. And it'll separate all that weight. And so we put all of it, like where it combines all of that is the scale number that you guys and me look at each week, right? And so if we could pay the money, if we had the money to be able to afford a DEXA scan every week, we would be able to see exactly where we gained weight, exactly where we lost weight, and everything like that. But we can't. So we put all of our value into one of the numbers on this 4-page report. And I tell you, as someone who has had a DEXA scan, I can tell you that it is the least valuable piece of information on that report. There was a time where, I don't even know where it is now, but there was a time where I would show people the DEXA scan and show just how detailed it is about your body weight and what it's consisting of. And I thought it was an amazing thing to do. It cost, I don't know, like $300 or something like that, 200 something dollars, 200 and change for sure. So it's not something you want to do every, often, but definitely like twice a year, that would be nice if it was possible. It's definitely something that will educate you more about your body than the scale ever will. Anyway, not sure why I went on and on about the scale today, but someone needed to hear it. That's basically it. Your behavior is going to dictate change, not the scale. The scale will change eventually in time, right? But you creating consistent behavior change should be all of your goals. And it should never go beyond that. Until your behavior is consistent, you should take the scale number with a grain of salt. And after that, you can, the sky's the limit. When your behavior becomes consistent, the sky's the limit. Whatever you're doing today, enjoy yourself. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all.